about their influence. I mean, there's very powerful people there. Why does it have to be so secret?
Well, I mean, there is no secrecy. It's there is absolutely no secrecy.
I talked to the hotel guys.
It's just a private meeting.
If you want to know the evils lurking within the Bilderberg Group, look no further than the following quotes from Bilderberg insiders and those who've studied the secretive cabal. Bill Gates.
So you've got a thing on the left, CO2, that you want to get to zero, and that's going to be based on the number of people, the services each person's using on average, the energy on average for each service, and the CO2 being put out per unit of energy. Probably one of these numbers is going to have to get pretty near to zero. That's back from high school algebra, but let's take a look.
Dr. Henry Kissinger at the 1992 Bilderberg meeting at Evian, France. Today, America would be outraged if UN troops entered Los Angeles to restore order, referring to the 1991 LA riots. Tomorrow, they will be grateful. This is especially true if they were told that there were an outside threat from beyond, i.e. an extraterrestrial invasion. Whether real or promulgated, that threatened our very existence. It is then that all peoples of the world will plead to deliver them from this evil. The one thing every man fears is the unknown. When presented with this scenario, individual rights will be willingly relinquished for the guarantee of their well-being granted to them by the world government. David Rockefeller wrote in his book Memoirs, "If the Council on Foreign Relations raises the hackles of the conspiracy theorists, the Bilderberg meetings must induce apocalyptic visions of omnipotent international bankers plotting with unscrupulous government officials to impose cunning schemes on an ignorant and unsuspecting world." At the 1991 Bilderberg meeting at Baden, Germany, a meeting also attended by Bill Clinton, David Rockefeller said, "We are grateful to the Washington Post, the New York Times, Time Magazine, and other great publications whose directors have attended our meetings and respected their promises of discretion for almost 40 years. It would have been impossible for us to develop our plan for the world if we had been subjected to the lights of publicity during those years. But the world is more sophisticated and prepared to march towards a world government. The supranational sovereignty of an intellectual elite and world bankers is surely preferable to the national autodetermination practiced in past centuries." And David Rockefeller from his book Memoirs again, "Some even believe we are part of a secret cabal working against the best interests of the United States, characterizing my family and me as internationalists and conspiring with others around the world to build a more integrated global political and economic structure. One world, if you will. If that's the charge, I stand guilty, and I am proud of it."
Already we've seen leading members of Congress used to always attend. The Speaker of the House, representatives, ranking senators would attend. Now they don't dare because they get mail from their own constituents. Their own voters in their own congressional district are in their home state for the senators, saying if you do business with these criminals anymore, we'll never vote for you again. We'll vote for anybody else. And they've been politically frightened out of the ballgame.
19th century politician and historian Lord Acton said the issue which has swept down the centuries and which will have to be fought sooner or later is the people versus the banks. The ruthless and cunning behavior of the attendees of the Bilderberg conference can be summed up in the Machiavelli quote, "Men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims for his deceptions." We can see the ripples of secrecy in the Bilderberg Group and that of President Obama's TPP, and Adam Weishaupt, founder of the Illuminati's quote, "The great strength of our order lies in its concealment. Let it never appear in any place."
That is just half of the in-depth report, Bilderberg Evil in Their Own Words, that is on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Big transmission coming up. It's already Wednesday, the 17th day of June, 2015. I'm your host, Alex Jones. And the news today is absolutely piercing how it exposes the planetary program to bring in absolute dehumanization. Just look at these three articles I'm about to cover. New York State Senator proposes using GPS implants to track violent convicts. New York State Senate proposes using GPS implants to track violent convicts. That's CBS News. Now it dovetails with this article out of the London Independent. Self-driving cars may have to be programmed to kill you. Auto manufacturers and Google and others are admitting, as soon as I read the headline, I knew what it was going to say. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one or the few. That's collectivist thinking. Self-driving cars may have to be programmed to kill you if it means killing you will save others. And, of course, we know for a long time they've been killing folks with remote control aircraft, remote control automobiles. All of the new aircraft since about 6 years ago, all the big commercial ones, have remote control technology in them. That's in industry publications. In fact, that's an old story that could be new because most people don't know about it. We should pull up those documents to get into a story for the nightly news about, did you know that passenger liners are already remote controlled? They are. Bush, one day after 9/11, was in New York, gave a press conference. He gave one on top of the rubble pile, gave another later at a police headquarters. And he got up there, and we can't ever find the video again, but we found the transcript on PBS from a Frontline. And he said, well, the great part about it is that the planes are remote control. In fact, these planes were, but we just didn't think about it to act. And then they grab him by the arm and tell him to shut up. Because obviously presidents have real bosses. And, of course, the planes were remote controlled. There was nerve gas released inside. We don't know the full story, but the only real airphone calls, not the other fake calls, the FBI admitted to their credit, were all fake. There was no calls to the Solicitor General from his wife. None of that was true. That came out in CNN even. But there were 2 air calls from 2 aircraft, choking, can't breathe, there's gas, people passing out, help us. You release nerve gas or knockout gas, we're not sure which one. You remote control those babies right in. Whoever did it, we just know the official story is a fairy tale. We've got the calls. Gas, can't breathe, help. Self-driving cars may have to be programmed to kill you. How loving. We're going to be breaking that down. That dovetails with this little goblet of news from the Daily Mail. Will your car or will your job be stolen by a robot? Will your job be stolen by a robot? Calculator reveals the likelihood of a droid sitting at your desk in the future. And again, Australia's robot-led future puts squeeze on humans, BBC. How Google turned Alameda into a mad science laboratory. The decision has been made to build a world not designed for humans. By all the technocrats. 16 years ago, Bill Joy said this 1,000 times, I'll say it again, or more, went to a globalist confab with 200 top tech owners and leaders, a bunch of billionaires. And they had a meeting about, do we kill everybody because humans aren't needed? Or do we give them toys and games and TV shows and reality shows to watch and virtual reality? And the decision was made to exterminate. The decision was made to exterminate, like Doctor Who's little bot robots, the Daleks that go around killing people. But these aren't your grandpa's or daddy's Daleks. And I just sit here warning everyone that Wozniak, the founder of Apple, said the same thing. The creator of the internet has come out and said the same thing. I forget his name. He's a British royalty now. He's been, promoted because of inventing the internet. It wasn't Al Gore. I mean, they're just all out there warning everyone. In fact, they're actually good people. They're telling you the elite have made the decision. Apple co-founder, Washington Post, on artificial intelligence. The future is scary and very bad for people. And you can argue these guys really aren't good, that there's a metaphysical rule that they've got to warn you and tell you what they're doing to you before they do it. But I've actually talked to a lot of high-level people, and they're completely freaked out. The owner of Tesla, I happen to know as a listener and has told people, mutual friends, that he's a listener, and he's totally freaked out. And you see him running around warning everybody as well. I mean, basically, Stephen Hawking's out there saying the exact same thing because it's a fact. Humans are supposed to take control of their environment and control it and build a future for humans. The elite have decided to steal the future from humans, act like they're a new species, break away and merge with machines. One of the few people not pushing this, warning people, is Ray Kurzweil. He says, the head of Google Technology Development, he said, hey, doesn't matter if you don't merge with machines. We'll just step on you like you're a bug. You won't even count. You'll be lucky to try to merge with the machines. There's going to be a race to become the human-AI hybrid, and all of you that don't understand that are left in the dust. The decision has been made. I'm going to say that again. The decision has been made to build a dystopic, anti-human system that is so hellish you beg to be euthanized, and you'll be told in a ritual, the UN's already developing this, that you're actually being uploaded, your consciousness and your wisdom, to the cloud, but you're going to shed your body, and loved ones will be able to talk to their mother and their father and their brother and their sister who've already decided to go on. It'll look and sound just like you in a hologram, and people are going to believe it and just basically walk into the bug zapper. Because the resources are going to be turned off, the economy is going to be gamed and tilted and jilted and stilted to where it's so hellish by design, you can only live biologically by giving up all of your sovereignty and merging with nanotech, genetic engineering, and hypercomputing. And everything will be organized and run by IBM and Google's Watson computer, named after the progenitor of the Holocaust, Thomas Watson, who advised and ran the entire Hitler operation, basically, from the United States. And right now it runs the extermination operations against the vets, the don't treat list off your political actuaries as a beta test, and now it's rolling out in the next few years, system-wide, planetary-wide, total control, down to the treatment your dog gets at the vet is now under Watson's control in most areas. The treatment that your doctor can give you is now under Watson's control. You cannot make up the full magnitude. Jade Helm is a Watson computer algorithm codenamed Mastering the Human Domain. And it's not codenamed anymore. And those that are smart enough to even physically resist down the road or try to sabotage fiber optic or try to jam systems, then they'll dispatch special forces to kill you. As the special forces families die of cancer and their children are mentally retarded. I mean, soon half the public's going to be basically mentally retarded or have serious disabilities, and then it's going to be 70, 80%. And by then, just 15 to 20 years from now, robots are going to be everywhere. I mean, you want a hell future, baby? Implantable microchips, you name it, to buy and sell, it's all here. It's all being announced. It isn't Alex Jones telling you 18 years ago or 20 years ago. It's CBS News with a straight face. It's the news announcing worldwide forced inoculations. It's the churches hailing world government. It's the Catholic Church, the Pope, calling for planetary government to enforce carbon taxes and carbon credits and carbon regimes. I mean, it's here. And if it wasn't for the hand of God, even the elect would be deceived. DARPA is announcing brain chips to, quote, get rid of bad memories. They're already for 6 years been implanting them in troops publicly. We knew about it 15 years ago. They take troops with PTSD and tell them, we'll give you unlimited private health care and everything if you just accept this. And then after that, it gets even worse. They give them viral injections that eat part of their brain. You name it, it's all here. You cannot make up where we're already at. It's already far worse than I even know. It's always worse than I even know. People think I'm exaggerating. It's the opposite. It's far worse. And I'm not trying to be negative here. The only way to beat this is to face how far we've fallen. Oh, I just mentioned 3